Sophia, you wanted to have some Christian messaging put on your school parking spot out in Colorado Springs there. You're a high school senior, and you guys get to basically choose what messaging you want to have on those parking spots. This is a common thing at other schools as well. What happened when you presented the design that you wanted to have on that parking spot?
Yeah, so my original design was a shepherd and 99 sheep, and the shepherd is leaving the 99 sheep to go find the lost one, and with a Bible verse of 1 Corinthians 13:4. And when I presented that to a representative of student council, she said it wouldn't get accepted just because it has that religious imagery.
So they specifically said it was the religious imagery that was a problem. Did you try to put another design through? How did you respond once you heard that?
Well, I asked her if I could do an abbreviated Bible verse because I thought that was the problem, and she said that would also get denied. So I ended up just completely redoing my parking spot.
And in the redoing of the parking spot, did you have any faith messaging in it?
I kind of had a secret one. I don't think they caught on to me. I had a group of fish, and then one fish was, swimming backwards, and I don't think they caught on to that one.
Okay, so let me just pause here and come to you, Keisha, because you deal with these cases all the time. And in fact, you and I were recently talking about one of these cases that you also had a victory in. What was your reaction when you first heard, again, that a student was being prevented from having any kind of faith messaging on their spot?
Well, my reaction was, here we go again. School districts all over the country react this way to religious imagery, even though it's private student expression and they need to respect the free speech clause. But I actually really love helping students, and I love it when they want to stand up for themselves. So it's really an honor to do that for people like Sabrina and Sophia. And so I was happy to help and write the letter. And all we can do is write the letter and hope for the best. And obviously, you know that if we don't get the request granted, then, we move on to litigation. So I was willing to go the distance for Sophia, just like I was for Sabrina.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the victory because you guys have actually won this in a moment. But Sophia, coming back to you, you did this alternative design. At what point did you decide that you wanted to actually challenge the initial denial?
I wanted to challenge it right after I saw the Sabrina case go out. So I think it was right before I submitted my new parking spot that I saw the Sabrina case, and I was like, hey, like, this is exactly what I'm going through. Like, maybe we should do something about it. And then my mom found the First Liberty, and then we just went from there.
Well, and the other case you're talking about, Sabrina, we covered this at CBN as well, Keisha, as you know, and this was the very same thing as you said that you were going through. She won that case as well. And so you went in and you challenged this. Once the demand letter was sent, and that's the letter, Keisha, you were referring to the school district, asking them to reconsider. Sophia, did you get any pushback from people? What was the reaction among people in the community? Or maybe they didn't know. I'd just be curious to know if they did, how they responded.
Everyone was really supportive about it. I had a lot of people who I haven't even talked to come up to me and say, hey, I saw you on the news. What you're doing is amazing. Keep fighting for it. And I honestly had no bad things come to me. And I'm really thankful for everybody that was praying for me and cheering me on.
Okay, so let's talk about the victory now. Sophia, you obviously, and this is the first interview you guys have done since this victory came through. It actually happened as we were getting ready to do this interview. I found out about it. Sophia, how did it feel to basically win the battle here? And what will that look like? Will you get to change the design? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so when I woke up this morning, I got a text from my mom saying that we had won, and just relief kind of just flooded over me. Like, I was so happy. I was so happy that we didn't have to go any further, and just everything gets to be resolved. And yeah, I think I get to repaint my parking spot to my original design. And Miss Keisha?
Yeah, Keisha, jump in here because you know the ins and the outs of the legal piece of this and how they responded. So fill in some of the blanks there.
Yeah, I mean, just within the last hour, we received notification from District Council that they're going to allow Sophia to resubmit her design. We expect that will be approved and she can repaint her parking spot. But even more so, which was really important to Sophia, was that they're changing their guidelines so that on the parking spaces, students will be allowed to express their religious beliefs, which is so amazing. I mean, Sophia is the cause of that, and that's amazing. And we're definitely grateful to the district for getting back to us in a reasonable timeline and, reviewing the law and really taking it seriously.
Yeah, that's incredible. That is incredible. And so now she'll be able to have the design she wants on there. Keisha, what is your message to others out there? Because this is an example, and we talked about this last time, with Sabrina's case, that when one person stands up, it tells other people it's okay to stand up. And it actually sends the message like, oh, hey, Sophia, you can challenge this. Somebody else did. What is your message to other students who may be going through this and they don't know where to turn right now?
Well, my message would be to stand up for yourself, to definitely pursue your convictions and, stand up for your faith. I think if Sabrina can do it, if Sophia can do it, you can do it too. And I'll just say that if Sophia didn't do that, those guidelines would still be very inconsistent and there would be other students who would be facing this kind of censorship. So because she stood up, it really changed things. And that's what happens when you stand up for your rights. Obviously, First Liberty is here, and I welcome anyone who's having an issue like that to go to firstliberty.org, and we'll be happy to review and help.
Why do you think, Keisha, these things continue to happen? There's so much confusion around, standards and rules and regulations when it comes to religious imagery and words.
Well, I think overall, our culture has really become very hostile to religion in many ways, especially Christianity. And I do think, sometimes districts on one end are just like, they prefer not to deal with it at all. But on the other end, I do think sometimes the officials are hostile towards religious expression and they want to just keep everything very secular, but they don't realize how rich an environment it creates when you allow students to express themselves and to share what they believe with other students, because it produces a tolerant society. Those students will then go out and become leaders and, government leaders or politicians or nurses in Sophia's case, and they're going to be more tolerant people because of the experience that they had in school.
Well, I so appreciate that. Sophia, any words of wisdom to other students, similar to what I asked Keisha, but other students who were in a position that you were in, and maybe they're afraid, maybe they're worried to stand up, what would you say to them?
I would probably say that even if you're scared or think people are going to judge you, just know that, people are there to support you, and people are going to be there for you. People are going through the same thing as you, and you have a way stronger community than you know. And if you think something's wrong, then you should stand up for it, especially if it's with your religion.
Well, I thank you both so much for coming on, breaking the story down today, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you for covering the story. We appreciate it.